Hello. 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 Welcome. Welcome. It has been a while. We came here to share, and we are just looking at today what we can share. And I think the topic is one of those topics that people can easily kill you for. People will get angry and insult you. Comparing systems, you know, you want to live in Africa, you want to live in Ghana, or you want to travel. And if you watch the social media and you look at Africans who live abroad and what they share, majority of them are even telling our people to get out of Africa and find their life, move. So this is one of the things that I want to share. So please share the channel, share it. Share the channel. That's how the channel will grow. And so share the channel, share it with your friends, with your family, share it to WhatsApp groups, to Facebook groups, to all the groups that you're part of, the footballers, your church, your politics. This year is a huge political year. And next year, so share it to them, because they are telling us that politics will be the reason we will grow, we will develop. We know that that is not true. So let's share, let others join. It really does not matter whether you agree with our point of view or you don't agree with our point of view. And let's share. Nobody is going to kill anybody. Because there's a group of people, there's a group of Ghanaian youth who live outside and who are telling people, get out, go to school in Canada, in America, in England. The bottom line is that you want to become successful. That is the bottom line. You want to do something with your life. You want to become significant. You don't want to be poor. You want to have a good life, have money, have family, have some impact. That is the way. I think that is the foundation. And if you think that traveling is how you're going to achieve that, fine. But what is the main thing is that you want to become successful. And so let's compare it, comparing systems, staying in Africa or staying in Ghana or traveling abroad. And when we were children, getting abroad is one of the ways that people become successful. And anybody at all, when they travel, all of a sudden they become very knowledgeable, they become very wise, and they wanted to tell us everything. Somebody who was very shy, who was very respectful, the moment they move out of our continent and they come back now, there was a time I was at the airport, there was this young boy that I knew way before. Now, this guy traveled to America. He came back. Now, when he sees you, respect. And all of a sudden, when they come, they have a house, they have a car, and maybe you are here struggling. You are here finding it difficult to put your things together. So let's have honest discussions on these things, because it looks like somebody is telling us that if you live in Ghana, you're not becoming anything, and if you live in Ghana, you will not become successful. If you live in Ghana, you are confused. And then we push forward 30 years, 40 years, 70 years. You calibrate the life and you see that those who are successful, it's because they were deliberate, intentional to become successful. And even successful in what sense? Is it financial? Is it family? Is it social impact? Is it even health? Is it fulfillment? Is it happiness? Is it great outlook of life? Is it positivity? Or is successful because I built a house and I bought a car and I find all my children abroad and I'm in my room insulting all political leaders in Africa and being so much negative and paranoid about the prospects of Africa? Is that kind of life? Is that kind of life that you're 70 years, you and your friends, you get together and you say that all those Africans are crooks? Is that the kind of success that we are talking about? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Sometimes when you're sharing this with a lot of the young boys, especially those in Ghana who have never traveled anywhere, it's a very hot topic because we seem to believe in Africa, or we seem to believe in Ghana, particularly Nigeria, Ghana, West Africans. We seem to believe that the white man is somewhere waiting for us to come and enjoy life abroad. They have brainwashed us so much that we think the average white man so respects us so much, and everything there is wonderful. And then when you get there and you look at their behavior towards you, then you start to ask questions. It's because you were tricked, you were lied to. And sometimes some people are even there and they still live in big denial. They still say that it's still better. There's no racism. There's no, somebody will even compare racism with tribalism. They say that, yes, they are racist, but we are also tribal. Because our people, many times, the very critical things that make other race, other groups of people become successful and competitive and domineering or become dominant over others, we don't have that kind of thinking. And much of it is because of whatever happened and how we've been educated, how we've been conscientized, how we've been, for a lack of a better word, how we've been brainwashed to look at ourselves and look at the world. So the average guy, the average young man, the average young woman in Ghana, if he's never traveled outside the continent, he thinks that once he gets out there, everything will become successful. He doesn't know that if you go without paper, now you have to live in those countries with paper. You have to go, and then some people can wait for 20 years, 10 years before they get legitimate paper to even move around as full individuals. Some of us would have to change our names, marry our sisters, our brothers, our cousins, to even be accepted in such kind of environment, So the systems, if you're comparing them, I dare say that Africa was not allowed to build our own systems based on our own culture and our own aspirations, So the global political, financial, migration kind of structure that the West has developed, mainly the West, Africa was not part of it. We were not considered. That's why when you take your Ghanaian passport, you can't travel to England. But somebody in America can take their passport and move to a lot of countries in the world, That's why even your education in Ghana, when you take it to those countries, they are trying to tell you all kind of things. Because, even the financial structures that run the world, in the West, Africa is not part of it. When they were setting the IMF, Ghana did not even exist. Go and read 1948, 1950, Ghana was not a nation. So when they set those institutions, we were not part of them. They did not even have us in mind. They actually maybe didn't even think that we needed to even exist as a people. So you have to learn some of these things. One thing about knowledge is that once you have, some grasp of the truth, of the facts, your temperature will cool down, your frustrations will drop, and you have better understanding of life and better understanding of yourself. And you will know where to position to become successful. So if you have just joined us, my name is OBENG DARKO, and please share the channel with your friends. This channel, we talk about personal development, financial education. We share a lot about Africa, our dignity, our history. We talk about entrepreneurship, creative thinking, systems thinking. It's a whole re-education of the African, re-engineering of the African, creating right content so that our people can build with it, because they're all over the world. The Africans are the ones who are trying to, say that if they are welcome, you are not welcome anywhere. And that is a fact. you're not welcome anywhere, even in your own country sometimes. So you have to have quality information to live in this world as an African. This world that the Europeans and the West and the colonizers, and they have not still stopped, have created, which they sacrificed the Africans to create. You know, that world that denigrated the Africans, that world that you want to live in and require respect. That's why the country that you live in, whether you live in Sweden, whether you live in England, America, look at how many of those people have any sense of respect for you. And when it comes to intelligence, they don't even think that you are that intelligent. Who told them that? Even though you beat them at the workplace, in the school, they still act like they're shocked to say that you are number one in the class. Why? Because they were miseducated about you. They were lied to about you, and they have bought those lies because those lies have made them, maybe, they think a little better. And you are still struggling to accept your ingenuity, your blessing, and your uniqueness. You are still struggling to accept your humanity as African. You know, so this channel is for that, so that we re-educate ourselves as a people and we become confident. Even if you don't want to live in Ghana, no problem. If you don't want to live in Nigeria, Kenya, no problem. But you become equipped so that the things that frustrate you will not frustrate you anymore. And you will not deal with 3 jobs, 4 jobs before you get money. You will study the system and create wealth for yourself and your family. How many Africans own businesses in those countries? How many Africans own properties? How many Africans even have access to capital? Continental Africans and those who have been there for the last 400, 500 years. How many have access to capital? You know, so these are things that so my book, Unlimited Opportunities, if you have not bought any, buy one. It's on Amazon and on Kindle, and we have them in Ghana as well. Perspective, how to develop the mindset to start and build your own business. It's a great book, and these books, I intentionally designed them so that they will correct the things that were absent in our development, in our education. So how to teach yourself money. It's a great book. They will not teach you about money in our school. And resilience, how to develop courage and strength as an African entrepreneur. If you don't develop entrepreneurs, we cannot control the wealth of Africa. The many resources that God gave us, or God has given us. If we are not having great innovators, entrepreneurs, industrialists, people who can build businesses, foreigners will take advantage of that. That's why Ghana discovered oil. How many Ghanaians are in charge of the oil business in Ghana? Ghana has had gold for how many years? How many Ghanaian companies are the ones mining gold? Look at our distribution companies, retail shops and wholesalers. How many Ghanaians are benefiting from the wealth? So the wealth of Africa must be in the hands of Africans. But if the Africans are not educated well, if are not informed well, if they have been brainwashed and ill-educated, then others will take advantage of the wealth. And the world actually runs is a fight of wealth. Or that they are trying to put a lot of hindrances in front of Africans is because that they want to control wealth. And that's what racism is actually about. Racism is power play on wealth in the hands of one race over the other. And it was a tool that was created by Europeans, and they are using it. That's why when you see the billionaire list, it's all white men. That is really racism. Those who make a lot of critical decisions in this world are white people. Why? Because that is racism. Racism is actually just a mechanism to make sure that the wealth and power, in this world is in the hands of a particular group of people. That's all. But if you don't know it, you compare it with tribalism. If you're in Ghana, no matter your tribe, nobody will prevent you from building a business or becoming a politician or making decisions in critical things that run any nation. Yes, there can be prejudice, but when we talk of systems that have been set to make sure that this particular tribe triumphs over the others, we don't have that in Ghana. And I dare say that in most African countries, we don't have that. They are not institutionalized, they are not legalized. But in some of these countries, those things have been institutionalized, legalized. They've been protected. And it's because most people don't study, they don't read, they don't search, they just make a lot of, loose statements when it comes to some of these things, especially those who have been educated under those systems. So you want to live abroad or you want to live in Ghana? When you complete school, like when you are just about 20 years, you have completed university. If you choose to live in Africa, if you choose to live in Ghana, maybe the first 5 years you may not have any employment, any job. If you're coming from a background like myself, you have no anchor in politics and those things, then you will struggle. After national service, you'll struggle to find something to do. And most often it's because you were not so much taught on the critical things that you need to live. Your financial education probably was very low. Your business education was very low. You did not even have the right skill to produce anything to take to the market, or even the ability to pick a product that somebody has made and sell it. You didn't have a lot of those. And your education was devoid of that. And maybe you're even taken care of by your mother, single mother, or maybe your father was not even present. So you went to school to do psychology, sociology, engineering, or some of those. But when you came out, and nobody was ready to give you a job, and so you become frustrated. You say that, no, Ghana is so terrible. And you may not be wrong. And maybe your friend who happened to have visa to go to England, the next 2 days he has a job, whether he has papers or not, he can get some cleaning job, some operative, something, and maybe your friends who went to America, the same thing. And along the line, they will go and do postgraduate, they will go and do some specialty course. So the next 5 years, when they get there, maybe the next 2-3 months, they have a car, they have some apartment, and you are still here living with your mother in a single room. Of course, you'll be frustrated and you say that it doesn't worth it. But after 10, 20 years, if it so happened that you chance on doing something and you decided to just educate yourself, re-educate yourself, re-equip yourself, and you decided to start to understand our system or our infrastructure, and maybe you happen to just go and say that I want to rear some cattle, or I want to go and start cassava farm or coconut farm or maize farm, or if you want to open a provision shop, I want to start a restaurant, or even I want to get into GS, I want to become a teacher. Along the line, your salary may not be enough, but you may be able to find a woman who, you marry, you start to build life together. It could be slow, but if you're very intentional about life, the one who traveled will not be better than the one who stayed. Not at all. Not in finance, not in family, not in health, not in anything, not even in social influence. Because then after 20 years, some of you who in Ghana, those who will opt to stay in Ghana, some of you become country directors of institutions. You become maybe the EC director. You become immigration officer if you choose to work as a civil servant. So those who are bold to enter politics, maybe you become an MP. You become a minister of state. Maybe you can even become a president. Those who will be in the private sector, like myself, you struggle, you fail. And then you start to have a business that starts to work there. You start to have a business that starts to employ 2, 3, 4, 5 people. You who, were struggling, now you have some access, you have some money, and now you can buy a car, you rent a house, or you build your own house. Life with time will take different shape, whether you chose to live in Ghana or you chose to go to America or some of those. So it's a different thing, different approach. But I think as an African, even if you have the best of life somewhere, the thing is, who should build Africa? That's the question. If you all move, who should build us? Who should develop our continent? Are you saying that all of us should move out of Ghana and go to New York? Why the Chinese are coming here? Why the Indians are coming? Because you think that when you completed school, the first 4 or 5 years, you didn't have a job. It's okay, because our economy, we may not have a lot of jobs, but access to work, you have. Access to money, you have. The problem is how you think and how you've been equipped mentally, and the kind of skill set that you have developed. So once you're able to develop those skill sets, then the one who travels or the one who moved will not be better than you. Not at all. Not at all. Will not be better than you. Yesterday, we had a nice conference at Alisa Hotel. George organized that. Dr. Emmanuel Olimidu was there. And the kind of things that we share, we're talking about systems, how to build your financial freedom, how to build systems that will give you financial freedom. And we shared a lot, we shared a lot. Now, we could not have gained that kind of knowledge if we had not lived in Ghana. And we shared culturalized, localized approach to you building something, even if you don't have anything. Building a structure, building a system, because wealth, the reason you travel is because you are looking for money. But you can't get money if you don't understand systems and structures. And I can tell you that majority of our people who traveled, they have no idea how a system is built to create wealth. How a system is built to create wealth. So many of us will think that once I get a job, nice paying job, I'll be wealthy. No. If you look at those countries, those who live there, the structures and the systems that they have created to build billionaires and millionaires, we don't have those access. Our approach is entirely different. As a matter of fact, when you look at some of them, the billionaires, when even they want to buy something, they don't even use their own money. The banks will give them debt to buy that. When you went, they gave you house. They said, this is your house. They gave you mortgage. And when you are there, tomorrow that thing will increase. So you change in value, you get money. We don't have that kind of tool or that kind of structure in the environment. So when you say that, it's very good here, no? And Africa is no good, no, because you have not studied. Africa has said that we have not, because they truncated our approach to growth and innovation and prosperity. We left what we knew, those things that work for us. We left them, and we started to chase this, which was not designed for us. And we are still struggling to understand that. Our economies, all this financial something that in Africa, they are trying to teach us something that will never fit. So we didn't develop ours, or we were stopped to develop ours. It's almost in everything. Our education, even our religion, our economics, the way we even marry, the way we handle our marriages, all of them. We left what we knew. We did not modernize that. We did not grow that. We did not develop that. And we captured this one, which was not designed for us. Even that which they designed it for themselves and not for us. So the inferior one they gave us. And so we are torn between whether we pick ours, we pick theirs, and we're struggling to find a balance. So the systems that create wealth in Ghana, in Nigeria, they are entirely different from those systems that they create wealth in the West. And I dare say that many of our people don't even understand the tools that they are using to create those billions in those countries. And even those who even understand them, do they have access to them? And what are the challenges that they would have to overcome? If you have to go 10 to get access to that, the white boy will go just 1, and you'll be given the access, because those things were not designed for you. Those things were designed for them. So if you're a young man in Africa, if you're a young man in Ghana, I'm saying that our systems, we are yet to develop a system that will create a lot of innovators, entrepreneurs, a lot of wealthy people. We have not built that. And so you have to learn it yourself. And if you compare ours to America, no, you are making a mistake. They live in a different environment. Look at how the cedi dropped the other time. How can somebody say somewhere and say that my currency is dollar and yours is cedi? And they have been able to explain it for us to understand. And we are the ones even defending this, our economists and the financial people who have been educated by them. They will defend it when you have all this wealth and yet your cedi is going down and he has not much and his dollar is the global currency, and you want to define that, because you've been educated to defend them, not to defend us. And so when you have to know that when you start here, it is difficult. It is difficult. Even if you start to give yourself the right kind of information, the right kind of education, it's still difficult. But if you don't give up, it starts to it starts to get easy. And that is where you start to blow up. And our economy, every sector is open. What is not open is the minds of our people and the confidence that we must have in our people and in our continent. That one is still closed. So the systems are entirely different. What is built for them is not built for us. What is built for them, it is not built for us. And so we must understand what we don't have. The global financial structure was not built for you. You are not even part of it if you don't know. You're not part of it. Ghana is looking for $3 billion. How many months that they have waited? $3 billion. $3 billion. A whole country. And some of their companies were looking for $100 billion and they will just give it to them like that. Because you're not built for that. You're not built to be part of that structure. You are built to be servants, made slaves of that structure. But our people will not accept that. still forcing themselves into it. And so they will still be bottom in that kind of structure. And so you as an individual, educate yourself, develop yourself as a young man. How about if you don't get visa? What are you going to do if you don't get visa? Those boys who will just be asking you, who is here? Who is saying something? Kwame, don't mind him making it in Ghana is so hard. Then why are you here? Don't come here. We are not looking for your kind here. We are looking for those who want to learn. We are not looking for those who are here to argue. You know, because you're not playing here. We are serious. So if you're here, nobody has. Don't waste your data here. Go to a place that you can have Manchester United. You know, you can joke. You can. If Ghana is difficult for you, it's not difficult for everybody. There are so many. There is something you don't know, and instead of you to accept, you are just saying Ghana is difficult. You know, it will be difficult for you. So don't waste your energy here. And we have a lot of your kind. You think that those in America is easy for them? You think that those you think those in Kuwait is easy for them? This ignorance is what we are dealing with, because we have a lot of you, you know, and because you've been brainwashed, you think you're educated because you can write English. You think you can think because you can write English. That's our problem. If you can speak English and write, we think we've been educated. If you've been educated, you will not say that your country is difficult and you cannot be successful there, when others are becoming successful every day. Because you've been brainwashed to think that once you can speak English, you have education, you're writing, you know? And so you are not the one that we are looking for. So don't waste your time here. You understand? Don't waste your time here. And we are not here for debate. We are not debating. This kind of information I'm giving you, some people were paying to get it. You know? Some people were paying. So don't waste your time here, Kwame. Go and play your game, have fun. You can go and take Sakawa, you know, moves and man bet, you'll be fine. But life is very fair. You reap what you sow. You know, whatever you are sowing today, if you sow negativity and laziness, you will reap it. If you sacrifice and you put something before you and you read and you try, and if you fall, you wake up again, you become successful. Nobody has ever become successful by chance. It is intentional. It is hard work. You don't expect to become successful just by trying one time. It takes a lot of effort. And that one you don't want, because you want miracle. You want God to come from heaven and give you money. That's what they have taught you. So when you try one thing and it doesn't work, you say it's so difficult here. Go to those countries. White people with visa, passport. The Americans sleep on the street. Go to those countries. Go to England. A lot of English people have never seen £10,000 before. You think that it's easy there? See? So don't come and waste our time here, right? If you want to learn, you must have a contract spirit. You must have the spirit to say, I don't know, I want to learn. If you're here to challenge, you're not up for that. Go and get visa, get out of Ghana. 20 years time, you come and meet your friends, and you'll be very, very much sad. You know, we have friends. You think I have mates who have traveled, who are still looking for a way out to do something in Ghana. You have no idea what you're talking about, you know. So my name is OBENG DARKO. We are comparing the systems, you know. So in the long term, in 20 years, in 30 years, measure yourself with money. Some of our people will trade their head today to work 3 jobs to get some money to come and build a house and buy a car here. When they are 60 years, they have all kinds of complications. 70 years, they have all kinds of complications. Many of us will even have broken homes, you know, because there's so much heat on the Africans. We work everywhere. We are working to feed those systems, and we have no time for our family. We have no time for our health. And the money, we don't even have it, because in those countries, you don't create wealth with man-hours. You create wealth with systems, the structures that they have set. Taking a company to the stock market, having access to capital to buy maybe properties and rent them. Those are the ways that they create wealth. Building some IT companies. They are not creating wealth by working as a nurse or working as a doctor all hours. How much can you have? They will give you mortgage to buy a nice car and a nice house. That's all. But to become wealthy in those structures, you need a far better understanding of how those economies operate. And many of our people have no idea how those economies operate. They can be lawyers, doctors, they work to get salary. And so the time that they don't pay them, they are miserable. How many of our people can stay at home for 1 year without salary and still keep the lifestyle that they have? How many can be at home for 10 years without salary and they can still have the lifestyle that they have and take their children to school and pay their rent, or pay, how many have even paid their houses? So they are screwing us because a lot of our people are refusing to learn. Financially, we are very weak in terms of knowledge, in terms of skill set. So we think that once you work, you get salary, that is worth. That is very far from it. So study the systems, study very well, compare them, so that you don't just, I wouldn't say don't travel, go and see some, it's okay, but don't put your faith in those areas. Put your faith in yourself, put your faith in God, not in any structure that say that once I get out of Ghana, I'll become successful. You don't understand success. Success is having a dream, especially financial success, building a business, building investment, and those ones can be achieved anywhere. If you want to get into the millions, you can achieve it in farming, you can achieve it in selling, you can achieve it in industry, you can achieve it anywhere. The problem is, are you ready to pay the price, to go through the struggles before you get there? That is where the problem is. And are you ready to change? Take out the things that they put in you that don't work and put the new ones in you that will make you successful. That is the challenge. Or you just waiting that one time Akufo-Addo will become president and somebody will change everything and then you become successful. It has never happened anywhere, and it's never going to happen anywhere. Even those who get political positions and take money, after they are out of those positions, give them 5-10 years, they are back to square one, because that's not how wealth is created. Wealth is capacity. Wealth is a system. If you don't have the capacity to run those things, you will never become successful. And we're not just talking about in terms of financial wealth, even health, even family, even changing lives of our people. Building our country, building our continent. That is wealth. And that is a broader picture. That is something that we are looking at. So we are, so I'm saying that system was not built for us. And so we must study our own system. And unfortunately, we are not the ones trying to build that system to create wealth. We're still waiting for somebody else to come and help us. So don't sacrifice your future by saying that once I'm hungry today, and so if I'm not getting anything to eat, then I'm not staying in Ghana. Yes, maybe travel if you want, but to build successful life, it's a whole different approach. It's not part of travel. And somebody will say that if all the successful people in Ghana, they travel, that's where they got their capital. Are you sure? That's not true. Many people have become successful here. They didn't get any capital. They just started with the little that they had, and they continue to build. Take that mind from you. Take that thing from you, that until I travel and get capital, I can succeed in Ghana. Which capital? That capital is the intelligence that you have, the wisdom that you have, the knowledge that you have acquired. That is the capital that you need. And so once you're able to build that, you can build anything. You can build anything, especially if you have a learning heart, if you're one that is open to learn. If you're the one that is arguing everything, the way the universe is, it has a way of paying you back, And so there are a lot of young people now who are looking for postgraduate, scholarship to go to some place to go. And after the scholarship, after the postgraduate, you will still have to work. And your greatness really is not in working with PhD. Your greatness is in you having a vision and working towards that vision. And if it's financial success, it's building a business, educating yourself about finance, educating yourself about business, about entrepreneurship, educating yourself about economy, educating yourself about investment. Those are the things that will make you wealthy. So this mind that you have, ask yourself, with this level of thinking, do you think you can create any wealth with it? The way you look at life. Majority of our people think in terms of academic. The few of us who, people who even think in terms of knowledge, they think in terms of academic knowledge. They think in terms of academic knowledge. They don't think in terms of innovative and productive knowledge. So you went to school to get certificate in a degree in accounting. That's how you look at life. But you can't do any great thing with accounting degree. He went to school to do engineering. So he's looking at life from with his 4-year Kwame Nkrumah certificate. You cannot build factory with that. You need more information, far more than that 4-year education that they gave you in business administration. You think that you can really become a millionaire with medical 4-year or 7-year medical content? You can't. That is why you look and check. Look, you think you can create a lot of wealth with that 4-year law degree? No. There's a lot of content that you have to put in yourself. And once you get that content and you take steps, then you create that kind of life that you're looking for. But our people are so relaxed in our littleness, especially when they get government positions or they get some places where they have Land Cruiser and house help. They are the most successful in our continent, in our country. And therefore, that's why the foreigners are the ones building factories, building industries. They know something. And they don't even show you certificate. They show you what they can build. They show you the things that they can build or the things that they have built. And that is the realm that we have to. And those are the kind of knowledge that we share here, that you can build anything from the level that you are, so long as you're ready to learn, so long as you're ready to challenge what you know, so long as you're open, to new ideas, and so long as you're not lazy, so long as you're hungry and you desire, and you are able to take, all the troubles that will come with it. That's one, you become successful. So you want to live here or you want to travel? I'm saying that it's far easier to travel, to stay here and build something. And you will contribute more to the progress of our continent because we are the ones to develop this country. It's not foreigners. It's not nobody will develop here but us. And you have a role to play. I have a role to play. If you're a teacher, you have to educate the children to love here and to be, and you have to teach them how to become successful in our country, how to have confidence in themselves, to see themselves as not inferior to any other person, and educate, find some level of financial information. They have to understand our structures, not look up to government for help or not look up to politicians for help, but look to themselves and come together and do something. That is what you have to teach your children. If you're a doctor, people come to your office, give them that hope. If you're a politician, that is what we expect you to do, not just win election. Well, your whole agenda is to just continue to win election, and when you win the election, it's only for yourself. It's not for the people. In that case, you have failed. And so ours is entirely different route. So don't compare. Don't say that in America you have credit card. In Ghana, I don't have credit card. I don't have it. If you have any card, it's debit. The money on it. If you don't have it, you can't spend it. If I'm looking for a job, I don't know. If I want to build a house, I have to work and get the money to build that house. If I want to buy a car, I have to work and get money to buy that car. There's no credit. But that those countries, the car you're using is credit. That that house you are paying is more. That's the system that they have created so that you can work to feed that system. They have not designed it so that you, the consumer, especially the consumer debt, cannot create wealth. The one that you're using to buy a fridge and car, you can't create wealth with that. And that people don't even understand that kind of play. So you're very happy with one house that you have built with mortgage. You cannot become wealthy with that kind of thinking. And so here is a bit different. Here, once you have the money, you have it. It's not debt, it's cash. So I would say that if you want to become hugely successful in whatever you're doing in Ghana, focus on business and be very truthful. Be patient, be truthful, and reduce the religiosity. If something happens, it's not the devil. If something happens, nobody's trying to kill you. Much of it is the level of information that you're operating with. That's all. If you up the information, you can solve a lot of the problems, and that is how you become, you see success here. When they are using stock market and IPOs and those, all these taxes, debt to, technology to create that, we don't have that. Even if you watch our media, they are trying to, entertain all of us into poverty. Look at all these young girls who have bleach and with all this blonde hair, spewing a lot of shallowness to all of us. You go to social media, there's a lot of shallowness. There's not depth. There's no depth. People who have to organize and go forward. You're entertaining us, and the battle is about entertainment. It's not about industry. It's not about creativity. It's not about innovation. It's not about wealth creation. It's not about development. It's not about attacking our education system so that we can bring out people who can think for themselves. No, it's about music and entertainment. Look at the other time that they were, the coronation of King Charles. Look, the Africans were invited to what? To entertain. That's how the world has put us. When it comes to music and sports, that's where they want. When it comes to thinking and creativity, no. When it comes to ideas and knowledge generation, they don't think that we can think like that. And we have actually accepted that. So when you watch our media, what ideas are we generating? Political discussion, MPP, NDC, that's all. There's no depth as to the knowledge that can develop the people and extract their ingenuity. No, it's always about when Kufuor said this and Jomama said this, that's all, Kwame Nkrumah said this. That's what we are doing. When the others are building, they are creating, we are here. We have, the others are also praying. And so there's a lot that we need to really put out there so that people can wake up. And that is why in the absence of this kind of knowledge, that's why the youth think that they cannot be successful here unless they travel. But the moment you come in contact with such kind of information, you will start to believe that you can be successful wherever you are. And the moment you believe that you cannot be successful wherever you are, it means that you don't have the right content. Especially if you're in Ghana and you think that you cannot be successful in Ghana, and Ghana is so difficult, you don't have the content. You're watching too much movie. You're watching too much entertainment. You're listening to too much songs. You listen to these songs and after that, you don't get anything. You just shake your body, that's it. And yet you're poor. If you're poor, don't listen to music, to dance. If you're poor, you go and play the game that will make you rich. A poor man does not have to, you don't have time. If you're broke as a young man, don't spend your time listening to music and dance. Go and work, because that is where the solution is. Because your problem is you're poor. Even your Kogari you can buy. And yet you get small money, you're going to listen to Black Sheriff. You will suffer for long because you're waiting. You are just hoping that one day things will change and you become successful. Things don't happen like that. Things don't happen. You become successful, you have to create the success yourself. You want to become successful, you have to create the success yourself. And success starts with the right kind of self-education that will make you successful. The right kind of content that will make you successful. And so if you have small money and you're playing lotto with it means you're off. If you have small money and you're playing music with it, all the young men want to have one-hit music. When others are mining our gold, we want to produce music. When others are mining our gold, we want to play football. No, there are priorities. Somebody will argue that, but football is creating wealth. Which wealth? Our economy has sunk, and we have a lot of people playing football because that is not what sustains the economy. Those who are creating the product that we need so that we don't go and bring them from China. Those are the things that will make our economy successful. It's not football. It's not entertainment. It's not movie. The movie that when sometimes you watch our movie and say, so how do they write this kind of movie? Don't they see all our problems? Don't they see our problems? You create a movie, people watch there, they are just smart, and they go home. They don't get any intelligence. They don't get any knowledge. They don't get anything to better themselves. So they watch, they smart, they sleep. That's all. And the Chinese are not doing that. They are fighting. One thing I saw in China, when you go there, even when the guy is watching a movie and laughing, he's still selling to people. He's still in the factory. And we have time to go out, stand somewhere and watch Manchester United and stick. No, there's a lot that we need to change. Because if you're late, you don't play games. But people are late and they are playing games, hoping that destiny from somewhere, destiny helper will come. God from supernatural will change their life because that's what they told you. And you have been waiting for that for 10 years, 20 years. Your life has not changed supernaturally. Because your life will not change supernaturally. You are responsible. Your decisions, your choices are the ones making you. It's not that, it's not magic. It's not somewhere out of nowhere. Then something will just happen and your life will change. That's not true. That's wrong teaching that somebody has given you. Your life will change because you start to develop the right content. And on that right content, it will start to change the pattern that you're taking. And that is how you become great. At the personal level, and even at the country level. And at the country level, we are joking. We are joking. We have a lot of youth. What do they spend their time on? Very unnecessary things. We are competing. And our youth, when others are sitting down and designing products and looking at how to bring those products out. Ours are following football, man bet. Others are praying. Some are following politicians. You see, when the world is going right, we are trying to go left. And few of us who are even doing agriculture and trading, they are trying to frustrate us to stop. You know, so we need, and much of it is ignorance. Much of it is lack of knowledge. Much of it is lack of priority setting. We are not setting our priorities as they should be. If you look at how we are educating our children, they come out of the school from primary to JSS. They only speak English, especially those who went to Montessori. They only speak English. That's all. Where is creative thinking? Where is critical thinking? Where's African pride? Can they even speak our language? Do they want to live here or they want to go to school in America? What kind of content have we put in our people to have hope? Because there's nowhere that you, let's say the future is Africa. That's why we don't, if you don't believe it, the future is here. That's why all of them are trying, you know, look at how China is aggressively coming. Look at America. Look at all these guys constantly coming. And you are here, you say, no, there's nothing here. I want to get out because the content is the problem. And you can control people's mind by what you teach them in school, what you feed them on the media, you know, what you teach them in the churches and mosques can easily generate a people who very much don't believe in what they have and don't think that they are the ones responsible for the future that they are waiting for, you know, for the future that they are waiting for. And so we are the ones to change this. And that's why we spend our time, even though when we are tired, we still spend our time to share, you know, and the results are remarkable. What we share, you move somewhere and somebody will just share some story with you. So, wow. And so we are the ones to do this. And we don't have time for debate. We don't have time for disagreement. And no. Let's say we are late. And when you are late, you don't debate. You come together and work. Africans don't have to spend time to debate. Africans have to agree that we have to work for our development, for our progress. How can we debate on the future that we want to create for Africa? What are you debating about? We are the ones to make sure that our continent develops and that the youth will have confidence here. But somebody somewhere telling them that get out of Ghana, get a visa, move. There's nothing there. Don't waste your time. They're confusing them. Somebody will just send you a message. I have 10,000. I don't know what to do with it. I have 40,000. I don't know what to do. I have 20,000. How can you have 40,000 and you don't know what to do with it? What have you been feeding yourself with? What are you smoking? What are you watching? That you can have 40,000 and you don't know how to invest that. You know, so we have challenge. We have challenge. And I'm saying that it's far better. If you're youth, think here. You can travel, but your future is here. Your future is not abroad. It's a lie. They have painted a United Kingdom that you think that is welcoming Ghanaians. Get there, you will see. A lot of Ghanaians have been there for 30 years. Go and look at their lifestyle. You'll be sad. Go to America and see. Go to Canada. They are lying to you. Most of them are just employees in some, and they are getting $5,000, $2,000. That is no money. In a country that people have billions, you don't have 2,000 and say that you have money. You don't have money. You know, so you're right, Mr. Obeng. Making millions is not keeping 2-3 jobs. Yeah, no, it's not at all. Making millions is systemic, it's structured. They told the slaves that making millions is work. Making millions, those who are at the top of the game, is creativity, it's thinking. It's higher form of intellectual mechanisms. It's not you. I'm a doctor, you have the work for 12 hours for salary. No. That one is good. That means you're saving lives. It's good, but don't tell us about wealth. That is a whole different thing. If you go to your village and you start a 100-acre cassava farm, you'll be far more richer than you working for salary. That's right. If you start a maize farm and you do it well, and you start to build warehouses for that, you just have to take one step. You open a shop, pharmacy shop in your area, and see. Start to produce something and see what the wealth that you can create, you know? Produce something, take something to the market. That is how you create wealth. If somebody told you that once you get, you finish school, it's like you going to school. If you're going to school so that you get a job and get salary, you just be like any normal citizen. But if your vision is to have financial freedom, that is not the part. It does not mean that getting job is, it's okay, get a job, but then you should know what you're getting. If you take paracetamol, you know what it's going to do to you. If you take quinine, you know. If you take poison, you know that this is poison. If you take water, you should know what water is going to do to you. So you can't take something and say that, no. You should know what you're getting to. So when you go to school, say, take this job, take this course. Once you finish this course, you get a job. It's okay, but you will never have financial freedom. And the content to create financial freedom is not in school. You know, the content to create financial freedom is not in school. And when you come out with the content on TV, it's useless. And so people are very confused. He's in school, he's been confused. He comes out, he watches TV, he's confused. You're listening to politicians, they're confusing us. You're listening to preachers, they're confusing us. You're saying that we should go to heaven. So once we are going to heaven, where? You know, so we have a lot to learn. You know, when the others are trying to take dominion here, the Africans are trying to go to heaven. And somebody taught us that kind of gospel. Somebody taught us that kind of gospel. So my name is OBENG DARKO. We are comparing systems, and I'm saying that that system outside, you know, especially the West, is built on debt. You know, and you have to work to get your house, your, you know, they give you loan and those. We don't have those here. And so when you're a young person and you start, it's difficult. It's frustrating. We understand that, but it's difficult everywhere. But with patience and with different kind of education, you can become hugely successful. And if you don't travel, it's not a disadvantage. If you don't get visa, that's not mean you will not become successful. And if you get visa, it's not advantage. No, I have uncles and people from my family who have lived somewhere for all these years. I don't say that they are advantage. No, they are not advantage. They just chose to live somewhere. And if you choose to live somewhere, it's okay. But in terms of financial success, family, health, it's not an advantage. Depends on what you know and what you're implementing. And this fast, people must understand them. People must understand them. And if you really want somewhere that you live and live and be that much happy every day and be fulfilled, it's not abroad, it's actually Ghana, where you get up every day and you're not confused. But you have to solve the primary problems. The primary problems will be maybe you don't have a job, you don't have income, those kind of things. Once you're able to solve those, you know, once you're able to solve those, you should be very happy that you're building something. Sometimes some people can build something here, and because of the global white agenda that has poisoned a lot of Africans, they're still not happy with what they have. Somebody can build a business here and still sell, you know, sell the business, sell a house and get visa and move out of Ghana and go and spend another 10 years trying to get money to come and build the same house that is built. Because the problem is the mind has been reconfigured. The mind has been set to see themselves as nothing. So no matter the achievement that they are able to achieve here, it's still so difficult for them to accept that without them. It's like our government. They can't accept that without IMF, they can't solve their own problem. It's so fascinating. They can't believe that without British people, they cannot organize their own elections. Without USAID, they can't do anything. You know, so they are always looking for somebody to give them grant. Without Japan people, without Germany. So if you see your leaders relying on this, then subconsciously, you believe that you are nothing. You believe that you can't achieve anything. And I mean, I don't begrudge us, but that's the fact. You know, where everybody is trying to help you. Meanwhile, you are the ones to help them. But, you know, even if they have 10 billion, somebody will bring them 100 cities and they will still take. That fascinates me. You know, where is the pride for the Africans? You know, so they are waiting for somebody to help them. Meanwhile, they are the help. They are the same help that they've been looking for. And so stretch the mind of somebody waiting for help. Somebody who, if you don't go to heaven, if you don't go to US, then you will not become anything. Put that off. You don't need to travel. Have you worried that you have not traveled to Vietnam? Or you have not traveled to, what is it? Afghanistan? You don't have problems. So why should you worry that you don't have American visa? Should that be a problem? It shouldn't be. Why should you worry that you don't have a visa to Canada or Australia or New Zealand or England? I don't have visa to travel to Nicaragua. Am I worried? No. So why should I worry? Because I don't have visa to travel to some of these countries. It's part of the colonial agenda. So those institutions that colonize us, they made us to believe that without them we are not okay. We are not complete. So everything that we do, we're still waiting for them to give us okay. I remember when they were in somewhere, they would say that, oh, the United Kingdom has okay Ghana's budget. If you live in a country that somebody else would have to okay your budget, subconsciously they have defeated you. So it's a psychological warfare. You know, so even if you're winning, you still don't feel like you're winning. It's a tough battle. And you as an African must educate yourself like that. So it's not traveling. No, it's not. You must win the war in your mind first. It's a psychological warfare. And once you enter school in Ghana, they start to defeat you. So you've been defeated. With all the content that they have given to you, they have actually defeated you. So you will not stand for yourself. That's why the people with degrees, they don't stand for us. We watch it. How many degree holders stand for Ghana? Once they get there, they sign a contract, they give it to the foreigner because they've been psychologically weakened. You know, and they start to go to the mosque, the same thing. They are weakened. They will fight for Saudi Arabia, not Ghana. They start to go to church, they will fight for Israel and America, not Ghana. Because those institutions were designed to weaken us psychologically so that we don't stand for ourselves. You know, so everything that you have, you're not enough. You have to look up to the white man, who is God. So wherever the white man is, that is where you want to be, because that is heaven. Like Jonas will say, is he living in America is heaven. And you see young people following that and will fight for him. It's because you are not equipped mentally. The moment you raise your intelligence, you will start to ask pertinent questions. You know, you start to, because you must have confidence in your country. And don't forget, the country is not for politicians. It's not for chiefs. The country is for all of us. And we are the ones to build it. And so you are waiting for a leader. He's not showing up. Be that leader. If you're a young man, there's nothing that prevents you from getting into politics and said, I want to change something in my community. Become an assemblyman, become an MP. Join the political party. If you're not happy with the way they run church, start a church and teach people how they should do it. You know, if you're not happy with the way our people are running businesses, start to teach them. Write books. Change people's mind, because you are the ones to develop our country. It's nobody's. You know, we are the ones to change our country. It's not others. We are the ones. We are the ones to do that. You know, so take